Welcome to the Hunt Fish Travel Podcast, the show that works really, really hard to interview folks that are going to provide you the information and inspiration for your next hunting or fishing trip. I am your hostess, Carrie Z. Before we jump into the show, I'd like to remind you that Spy Point is the show's biggest sponsor. They pretty much keep me in business. They keep the lights on, they keep me on trail cameras, and they keep me obsessed with the deer and the turkey that I've been sharing during Trail Cam Tuesdays. Be sure to check out the Hunt Fish Travel Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok pages for those photos and videos that I've been sharing. It's also brought to you by Montana Decoy, which is my secret weapon for bagging both turkeys and deer. Check them out at montanadecoy.com. And of course, Costa, especially this time of year in the summer where I'm blind as bad as it is. And then when you add in the bright sun, which as a software engineer, I live in my office in the basement. So I come up and God, I'm telling you what, those sunglasses are a lifesaver. And of course, Radiance Outdoors. Each of them have sent me gear that I actually use, so I appreciate them. You can always check out huntfishtravel.com/huntingcabela's, no apostrophe, for a list of all the products that I've purchased this year. And I've purchased a lot, especially if you missed the blog post, legitimately go to huntfishtravel.com and read the blog post. It's pretty amusing. It's funny, but it's not funny. So over the winter I kind of had a bit of I don't know. It was so weird. I'm such a glass half full kind of a gal. And over the winter I really struggled. There was no safe ice. So I got to do no ice fishing. I couldn't go sturgeon spearing. I'm living in the basement all year long. I'm working nonstop. There's no sunshine, and my mental health really kind of took a turn for the worse. So I said, I got to do something. I have to make a change. Otherwise, something bad's going to happen. So one day I was at Cabela's and one of the ladies was like, you should just get a job here. And I was like, that's not a bad idea. So I applied. And lo and behold, I got a job at Cabela's. I only lasted 8 weeks, but I mean, it was a good experience. It was a lot of fun. It got me out of the house. It kind of gave me the kick in the butt that I needed to just get up and get out of the house every day. And it's kind of a funny blog post. So go to huntfishtravel.com and check it out. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. If you were struggling over the winter, you'll understand. This weekend was kind of fun. I don't have a guest today, so I thought that I would just share. My experience over the weekend was pretty interesting. As many of you know, I've been doing the Take a Vet fishing events for years and years and years. As a veteran, as a female veteran, I don't connect a lot with a lot of the male veterans. I don't connect with them on a base level in many different ways for various reasons. And mostly because they think I'm an idiot, and it's a whole thing, right? So when I started doing the Take a Vet fishing events, it wasn't that I was connecting with these veterans on the military level so much as on the fishing level, right? So we'd go fishing, and of course we'd chat about our military experiences and such, but we're also focused on the fishing aspect as well. So it's not just I did this and I did this and I was stationed here and I was stationed here. It's, I was stationed here, but then I got to go fishing here too. So there was a lot of crossover subjects, and it was really nice. So fast forward a bunch of years, my dad passed away 3 years ago. I've yet to be able to even talk about him half the time without bursting into tears, but I do wish he would have been able to participate in some of those. For various reasons, the events were always on dates that he wasn't able to participate in. And when he passed, I asked my friends, in lieu of, money for the funeral, I asked for donations to the Take a Vet fishing charity organization. And they did. They raised quite a bit of money, which was really nice. And it was a touching little send-off for my dad, which he would have loved. So anyway, fast forward to this last Thursday, I came up with a new design for the Hunt Fish Travel Podcast shop. I have these t-shirt designs, right? So I come up with this new design and I create this shirt, and I wanted a V-neck because I'm a girl and I don't always want to wear guy shirts, right? So I go to Hobby Lobby and I get this V-neck and I'm wearing this other t-shirt. I don't know, one of the gun stores here locally in Waukesha. And I'm in line and I'm checking out, and this gal is like, she looks at my shirt and she's like, "Oh, do you work for them?" And I'm like, "No, I don't work for them. I just support them, local businesses and such." And she's like, "Oh, that's so nice." And she's like, "Are you making a t-shirt for them?" And I'm like, "No, I'm making a t-shirt. I have a hunting and fishing podcast, and I'm making a t-shirt for myself because I'm going to this other fishing event, a veterans fishing event up in Oshkosh this Saturday." And she's like, "Oshkosh? Oh, that's a haul." She's like, "My dad's a veteran and he would love something like that." And I'm like, "Oh, it's this Saturday, maybe next year." And she's like, "Yeah, man, Oshkosh, that's really far for me to get him up there." And I'm like, "Oh, man." I was like, "Well, are you here local?" And she's like, "Yeah, we just live local here." And she's like, "He loves to fish. He used to fish a lot, back in the day he had a John boat and doesn't have it anymore." And my heart just, I got sad because I'm standing there and I'm like, I wish I would have taken my dad. I didn't have a boat, obviously. But I wish I would have done a little more fishing with my dad. We went fishing a lot, but I wish I would have taken my dad fishing a little more. And I wish I would have pushed him a little harder to get involved in these veteran events. And right before he died, it was just a couple of years that I'd even realized that some of these hunting and fishing veteran events were not just for disabled or wounded veterans, that they were for people who had all four limbs, like people like me could participate as well. You didn't have to be missing a leg to be able to participate in these. And I, honest to God, did not know that. So it was kind of unfortunate that I realized that later in life. And so I was like, "Well, I have a boat. I'd be happy to take your dad fishing if he's local here." And she's like, and I swear to God, the look on her face just about broke my heart, because I was standing there and I was like, I would hope that somebody would do this for my dad if I didn't have a boat or I didn't fish or something like that. So I gave her my phone number and I gave her my email. Man, the look on her face of gratitude. And I was like, this just makes me so sad that this poor guy, all he would love to do is just get out on the water, even just once a year. He'd probably be happy just catching bluegills. He'd be happy catching mud puppies. He wouldn't even probably care, just getting out on the water. And these organizations provide such an amazing service that it's such a shame that more people don't know about it. And they do such good things. I just wanted to do this episode and kind of not help share the word, but kind of help share the word, I guess. Like I said, this weekend, Saturday, we were up in Oshkosh at Skipper Bud's, and the Wounded Warriors United Wisconsin chapter, they had, it was 66 veterans were out on the water. 42 boats came and donated their time. They donate their time. They donate wear and tear on their boats and on their motors and the bait and everything. And it was so nice. We had an event. So Aaron and I are both Navy veterans, right? And we met after here in Wisconsin. He was in the Navy in the 2000s and I was in the Navy in the 90s. He was West Coast, I was East Coast. Completely different experiences. So it's kind of interesting. So we had a different event on Friday night, so we could not go. It's an hour and a half drive. We would have had to get up at 3 a.m. to get the boat up there to volunteer to be a boat captain. And they had enough, it looked like, anyway. A lot of the boats only had one person in it anyway, so I feel like they had enough volunteers anyhow. But what they needed was help. They needed a photographer, and they needed help trailering, like a trailer valet. So I volunteered to do the trailer valet because I'm really good at backing up a trailer. I enjoy it. It's fun, whatever. So we get up there and it worked really well. For the 42 boats, it was a very good system. Everybody gets a number. And as the boats come in off the water, Aaron was sitting out there with his camera and he was taking photos and drone video of the boats coming in. and they would hold up their number, and he would text the number to the guy running the show, Otto, and he would, call out the number 42 is coming in or 17 is coming in. And there were 4 or 5 of us who would then run. Well, we had golf carts, but they would take us over to the car, and the car or the truck had the keys in the console, and we would take the trailer down to the launch. We'd back it in. They'd load the boat. There was a guy down there assisting with the load, and then we'd pull up, and then they would get out of the boat, and then they'd finish, strapping in the boat or whatever. It was really efficient, and it worked really, really, really well. And it was a lot of fun. It was, okay, so I gotta tell you though, it was super funny. The first time I backed that trailer up, and then I rolled down the window, and the guy in the launch walked up, and he's like, oh my God, it's a chick. Like, yeah, hi, girl. We can back up trailers too, and we can do it okay, And then afterwards, he came over and he was like, you probably backed it in better than most of these guys. And I was like, oh, thanks. That's so nice of you to say. And I'm like, well, probably because I was under a lot more pressure because I am a girl. I'm the only girl. But it was just so funny because I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. Women do own boats. If you go on Facebook and type in like, I don't know, there's so many professional women out there, professional anglers these days. It's hysterical. But it was just funny. But anyway, I digress. So the event was really, really great. It was a good time. There were a lot of veterans there. And I don't know, these organizations, they just do really great work. Aaron and I took a lot of photos. There are a lot of photos of people smiling and the camaraderie. So I just wanted to point that out, that if you guys have a veteran in your life, or you are a veteran, you don't have to be disabled. You don't have to be wounded to take part in these events. There are a ton of these events out there. And here in Wisconsin, the Wounded Warriors United Wisconsin is a big one. They do hunts, they do fishing trips. They were explaining that they have this cabin that you can stay at. I mean, it's crazy. Again, the Take a Vet Fishing, their Facebook page, Take a Vet Fishing NFP, not for profit. Man, that one's very near and dear to my heart. There's Hometown Heroes Outdoors. There's Ultimate Veteran Adventures is one that I've done hunts with. Joe does an amazing job. Definitely recommend that one. That was probably one of the best run, top-notch ones I've ever participated in. I've had great experiences with these groups, and I don't know, for personal reasons, I've just avoided a lot of these veterans events and stuff, and especially as a female, it's real. We all have our reasons, and I'm sure you can connect the dots there. But these groups and these organizations have made me feel very welcome. I'm sure they'll make you feel very welcome. So again, if you know any veterans, you are a veteran, I highly recommend that you check these out, take part, feel that camaraderie, take part in the sisterhood and the brotherhood that some of us sometimes are missing, and check it out. I have some information on huntfishtravel.com. I'll be doing a bit of a write-up on some of these events in the next couple of weeks. And that's about it. I've got some more solo casts coming up because I've got some things to share with you guys. And I'm going to be doing more of these because sometimes I have stuff to share and I'm not able to share them during the regular interviews because there's just so much information to impart during those interviews that I just don't have time to share. So that's it. All right. Again, thank you to Spy Point, Radians, Costa, Montana Decoy, Cabela's. Go support the sponsors because they help me keep the lights on. If you're listening to this on Spotify or iTunes, a 5-star review and a comment is always appreciated because it helps me in the algorithm. If you're listening to this or watching on YouTube, hit that like button, hit subscribe, share with your friends, and we will talk to you later.